Dear Canadians, Donald Trump is not your enemy. Justin Trudeau is just using that as a brainwashing tool to push his own agenda for the Liberals winning. Do you understand why the tariffs were put in place? Because we actually have a criminal organization that has completely taken over our government and is making illicit substances that are coming into the United States.
What's fascinating to me is that, yes, he ran on immigration, and he ran really on the southern border, because we know we also border Canada, and that's actually the largest border, but they're not really going into Canada and looking for those Canadian people that are kind of jumping back and forth.
This is a misnomer. It's not Canadians that come across the northern border. The northern border crisis, no, it's people coming from other parts of the world, India, Mexico. But there's not a bunch of Canadians flying.
Yes, a tense exchange break out on The View, pertaining to this issue of immigration. When you take a look at what is going on, at a certain point, I had to laugh all through. This lady at the beginning actually outlined the reason Trump took the decision to go after Canada. He didn't go after Canadians. He wanted Justin Trudeau to protect the border, but these people didn't listen. When I look at the whole situation, it is important I show you what actually went on. But before I do that, first take a look at this lady's video. What she said is on point.
Dear Canadians, Donald Trump is not your enemy. Justin Trudeau is just using that as a brainwashing tool to push his own agenda for the Liberals winning. Do you understand why the tariffs were put in place? Because we actually have a criminal organization that has completely taken over our government and is making illicit substances that are coming into the United States. Donald Trump is telling you to secure those borders, otherwise you will get a 25% tariff. Like, how are Canadians not understanding this? Let me just show you literally the snippet from the White House page. Until the crisis is alleviated, President Donald J. Trump is implementing a 25% additional tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% additional tariff on imports from China. Now, what is this crisis? Look down here. Literally, cartels and shut off money laundering by transnational criminal organizations. If you don't believe me, just wait. CBSA, which is our Homeland Security whistleblower, believes transnational gangs have compromised agency databases, helping terrorists, spies, and mafias enter Canada. Our BC government has vending machines, free vending machines for illicit you-know-what, so that anyone can go and get it. And this is what Donald Trump is trying to stop. That's literally going against the North American Union. Donald Trump is telling us to secure our borders because Justin Trudeau has let all of these criminals in order to make Canada seem like a threat to the United States, because they were all hoping that they would have a Democratic elected leader in the United States so that they can take Canada. Donald Trump was trolling, because this is what happened. Donald Trump and Sparkle Socks had a meeting, and literally Sparkle Socks said, but what if we can't fix the problem? We rely on the American economy too much. And then Trump joked and said, why don't you become the 51st state and I'll make you governor? It's called trolling. Who on earth would want 20 million DTS liberals who are 10 times worse than the liberals down here roaming around freely, unmedicated and unattended? And those of you who don't believe me, do you know that almost 40% of Canadians are still getting the yearly flu, you know what? But that flu, you know what, the United States, from these delusional Canadians and all of the issues that we have up north. So I hope Canadians understand Donald Trump is not your enemy. Justin Trudeau is.
She's saying the truth. Trump is not your enemy. Trudeau is. What they wanted to create was a scenario where people would think otherwise. People are wise. They're intelligent enough to understand what is going on. Canada wanted to allow this to continue, so America should see them this place is not really safe. At a certain point, Trump understands exactly what was going on for a very long time. He came back with a planned action, tariffs, that has actually been effective in a way that people don't understand. When I look at the whole situation, what Justin Trudeau put out every single day, it is amazing. He is in tears. Now The View, they had a segment where this crazy, can I say, race beta Sunny Hostin went off like Trump is only caring about the southern border. Why is it that in the north, this? Trump is not talking about that. At a certain point, I was actually like, what is going on here? Take a look at this.
Fentanyl related is a pause. If they can prove to the president they've done an excellent job, that's what they first do in 30 days. But then the overall is April 2nd. So the big transaction is April 2nd, but the fentanyl related things, they're working hard on the border. At the end of that 30 days, they have to prove to the president that they've satisfied him to that regard. If they have, pause, or he won't.
We can't let them continue their lies and their distractions. We can't let them deport the millions of families across this country who have been doing the work that keeps our economy going every day. We can't let them scapegoat and criminalize immigrants who contribute, who are our neighbors, our friends, our churchgoers, our community around us that we deeply love. Immigrants are us. Immigrants are us, and we all deserve respect and dignity. If you look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it. If you look at your homes, think about who built them. If you look at your vulnerable elders and your kids, think about who's taking care of them.
That the history of the country is more about getting workers here rather than refugees. If you know your history, during World War II, there were Jews who were escaping the Holocaust, and they were sent back. They were not allowed to come here. So refugees is not the number one. Number one is to get people to pick your vegetables and things like that. That's what Italian Americans came here to work. Chinese Americans came here to fix the railroad, to build the railroads.
The enslaved were brought here to work and to build. The enslaved were brought here to work to build it for free. And not to mention the black Americans who came here in the first place were slaves. So let's not be so sanguine about these refugees, because mostly we want workers.
I want you to open your eyes and see what is going on here. Look at what is going on here. These were the people crying every single day about immigration policies. Oh, Trump is this, Trump is... Look at what they're saying here. So they want cheap labor. This is their aim. Oh, we don't have fruit. We don't have this because of immigrant. So you can clearly see the agenda why they allow this to continue. But there is one thing they are forgetting. They are not telling us. They want to build up Democrat voter base. They want to enlarge it. Because if Democrat allows you to enter, obviously you will support them. That has been the strategy. Elon Musk called out that weeks back, social media blew up. If someone could say this weeks ago, they will refuse. Now, their agenda is extremely clear, like they want cheap labor. Then they're talking about slavery.
But I think what's fascinating to me is that, yes, he ran on immigration, and he ran really on the southern border, because we know we also border Canada, and that's actually the largest border, but they're not really going into Canada and looking for those Canadian people that are kind of jumping back and forth.
This is a misnomer. It's not Canadians that come across the northern border. The northern border crisis, no, it's people coming from other parts of the world, India, Mexico. But there's not a bunch of Canadians flocking. There's probably more Americans going to Canada right now.
That's not true, because I spoke to Governor Whitmer about it. But
that was a misunderstanding.
Can I just finish what I was saying?
Yeah. So that I don't 6,000 Canadians.
So that I don't lose my thought. The point is, he was all about immigration from the southern border, and those immigrants or those migrants look a certain way. So it seems to me this was never really just about immigration. It was about a certain type of immigrant. And so now we have this million,
Can I just clarify, though?
Can I finish talking?
Yes.
Thank you. So it's okay for Russian oligarchs to come over. It's okay for people with money to come over, but it's not okay to provide a path to citizenship for people that have been here, like the DACA recipients, for other people that look a different way.
So just to clarify, because there is a border crisis on the northern border, and it doesn't get nearly as much attention as the southern. The numbers aren't as high. It is not Canadians crossing from Canada into the United States.
Who is it?
It is Mexico and India are the two largest places that people are coming, because they're seeing that it's actually easier than going through the cartels and going through a more secure southern border. So if they have the resources, that's what the northern immigration.
You can see the truth here. Alyssa understands exactly what is going on, but Sunny Hostin will continue to do this. Look at what she say. At a certain point, I actually appreciate Alyssa for pointing this out. Thank you guys for always been there sharing out my videos. I don't want to make it long. If you see clips after this, that is for the algorithm. And please, always share out the videos.
Everyone here.
Yep.
Now, for that kind of money, we deserve much more.
It angers me when people are like, this woke stuff, it's got to go. That's telling me that you don't care about my...
Picking off little constituencies.
From the city, from the...
You know, I mean, I don't know how many sets you visited, but everybody was like, you know, and you know, you get, the closer you get to the actual set where the shooting is, and then that red zone.
And he did this little dance, like, I've been talking with these, you know, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas, we're speculating, we're going to have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy.
Around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward.
Never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never condition it.
These people don't actually care. They're not actually trying to find a solution.
If you don't know, Karen Bass is a goner. She's goner. Gone. There's no chance of re-election.
The city will only purchase from vendors that support DEI, said the...
I remember when we had a fire when Trump was president, and he came in and he said, you don't rake. You're not raking. And we all did jokes about it.
Somebody in policy.
The city of the Palisades is burning. And, you know, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today...
Tyranny is rising in the White House.
You are a slave.